Hi guys, and welcome back to Leslie Through the Looking Glass. For those of you that are new here, hi, my name is Leslie. I'm so happy to have you here. For my returning viewers, as always, thank you so much for coming and continuing to support my channel. Alright guys, it is another Mental Health Monday. I do apologize, my background is kind of non-existent today, and you see my little puppy dogs. It is just really warm in my house, and I don't want to stop that breeze from coming through because we're having some beautiful weather and we don't want to turn on the air just yet. I am sorry that I also kind of look like a hot mess. I just got done with my yoga. I'm not gonna lie, I've had a lot of anxiety this weekend with the holiday, so I really wanted to get that yoga fit in today. And even if that meant not filming, I wanted to make sure I got that in, but looks like we're doing okay on timing, and I'll get both in. Today's video is going to be mostly just I had a few questions recently asked that I wanted to share because I thought they might give some insight into me, in my life, and all of this. And shout out to everybody with anxiety who made it through the holiday weekend. If you're anything like me, holidays are super fun and I love them, but they always just bring out anxiety. The fitting all the family obligations in and making time for everybody and getting to still enjoy it is just overwhelming at times. And it's kind of ridiculous because my anxiety is about like making sure everybody gets to see Amelia and that we also get to have some family time to celebrate with just her. And it's silly to get anxious about if everybody has a good time. Like, you can't control that, but that's where we're at and that's what I do. But luckily we fit everything in. It was pretty smooth. We had a very tired girl at the end of the day, but everything went well. So yeah, I hope everybody had a good weekend. And let's just get into it. I'm not going to do a ton today. It's going to be kind of a short video just because I have a lot of things coming up and I just want to kind of regroup. But I had several people reach out with questions recently that they wanted to know, and I just thought I would share them with you. Some people I responded to already, but I felt like there were things that might be interesting to others. So the first thing that I got asked that I thought was a great question was, what was like the number one most helpful tool that I'm using currently? And I thought that was a great question for a couple reasons. I just want people to remember that wherever you're at on your journey or recovery or whatever you want to call it, different tools are going to be what really help you. So in the beginning for me, 100% was breathing, figuring out the breathing and how to turn that into like relaxing my brain. That was the number one most helpful tool in the beginning. Right now, in where I'm at, and like I said, it's been almost about a year since I started therapy, and my sessions are pretty spread out now even. But right now, the thing that is helping me the most is yoga. I really slacked on it and have gotten back into it a lot in the last week or two since I said I was going to start working on making some changes and improvements. And that has been so helpful. It helps me shut my mind down, focus on my breathing, focus on my mantras, focus on what I'm doing in my actual body. I've been doing some chakra-based yoga, and I find that super helpful to feel more grounded. So that is where I'm at with my personal journey. And I do feel like yoga in general can be so good for people. And not a very difficult thing to incorporate. There's tons of videos on YouTube. If you're an Amazon Prime member, there's a ton of free yoga videos on Amazon Prime. That's what I typically use for mine. They have everything from beginners to sleep yoga, like wake up yoga, everything. But I thought that was a great question, and I wanted to just touch base on it because I do think it varies person to person, of course, and just on phases onto where you are in this journey. The second question that I thought was interesting was if I thought my work contributed to my anxiety, which I also thought was a really interesting question and something I, of course, have thought about, but never thought about really like talking about that or bringing it up because I feel like most people's job gives them some level of stress, some level of anxiety, even if you're not an anxious person. So I've never really like touched on that. But that kind of just put some ideas in my head of what would be interesting to talk about. So for those of you who are not, like don't know me personally or haven't heard me talk about it in previous videos, I work as a veterinarian assistant in a very busy animal hospital. I've been there about 7.5 years now. I love, love, love my job. That being said, it is an incredibly stressful job. It is an incredibly emotionally taxing job. There's just a lot, just like most jobs. I mean, I don't know that that's specific to me. However, I do think there are things that make my job more stressful than a lot of people's day-to-day jobs. We do humane euthanasias, we do exploratory surgeries, we have to deliver a lot of bad news. So it can be very emotionally taxing. In fact, right now, the veterinarian field is the #1 job field for suicide rates right now, which is a pretty scary thought. But I understand it because people are incredibly tough on us. I think that vets don't make as much money as people think they make. They accuse vets all the time of just trying to make money and not want to care for animals. But the fact of the matter is they have to pay their staff. They have to pay for their equipment. They have to pay for their drugs. They have to pay for all of these things. And we can't treat animals for free as much as most of us would love to. I promise you that nobody is in this field to make money. Certainly not assistants and techs, and not even really doctors. I mean, obviously they make decent money, but they also have huge student loans. They come out 8 years of school just like human doctors, and they make nowhere near human doctor money. So it is just a really intense field to be in. That being said, I don't feel like it makes my like overall anxiety worse. There are definitely days that I'm anxious and more short-tempered or easily frustrated at work because of my anxiety, but I don't feel like work is never a trigger for me. I'm never anxious about going into work. I'm anxious about leaving my daughter and being at work away from her, but not like my actual job. That being said, everybody's job is stressful. Everybody has anxiety around their work at some point, I believe. So maybe that's why I also feel like that's the case, but I hope that kind of made sense and why it kind of was a great question to me. I used to work in human healthcare before that, and that was a very stressful job, and I did actually have a lot of anxiety based around work, I think, looking back on it now, because I got paid even less than I do. I got paid not very much over minimum wage to work really hard and help people and do a lot of the grunt work for the nurses, and it's just a very rough job. If you know anybody who's a CNA, nursing student that works in a hospital, whatever, they are the ones that keep that place running, and they are the ones who don't get any of the appreciation or thanks. So yeah. But that being said, I feel like most jobs are stressful. Most jobs lead to some anxiety in one way or the other. It's just different person to person, but it's there. And then the last question was that I wanted to talk about and just bring up that I thought was really interesting, was about when my anxiety like got to the point of, forcing me to do something about it. Sorry guys, I'm losing track of the questions. I had them written down and I left that in the other room. When I was like kind of forced to deal with it, how easy was it for me to accept? And was it something I struggled with hearing the diagnosis of or not? And so the long and short of that is no, it was not difficult for me to accept. I think I was relieved that somebody figured it out. And I think that I was relieved that it was not, in my mind, something much worse. I really I know it sounds dramatic and over the top. I know it does, but I was very convinced I had a brain tumor or something along the lines of those. So when blood work came back negative for anything unusual, and the doctor said she picked up on some things and thought it was anxiety, and to start talking to somebody before, doing further medical workup, I was relieved. Not that it wasn't scary, because obviously it was pretty severe to get to that point, but I was relieved that I had a plan. I was relieved that it wasn't something worse medically. So yeah, it was one of those things that finally I was going to be able to get help. I was able to figure out what was causing my life to be so upside down. On the flip side of that, what is actually really funny is in my most recent therapy session, my doctor did, mention that she felt like borderline some of the statements I was making were depression sounding, which is not something that I had ever been diagnosed with. And she wasn't going as far as to say that that was her complete thought process and diagnosis, but it really hit me hard, even though I knew those things. So it's kind of funny where you can know things, but hearing it makes it worse versus not knowing, and then it's like a relief to hear somebody saying, yeah, that's what's going on. So just keep in mind, any of your reactions to any of the news, to any of the pieces of the puzzle are normal. If they're good reactions, bad reactions, no matter what it is, that's just what you have to go through, and that's okay. But I really think that was the gist of what was talked about. Trying to remember if there's any other questions I wrote down, guys. I think that was pretty much it. And things that I, like I said, most of the people I already gave my version of the answer to, but I thought they might be fun to share with everybody else as well. So if you ever are wanting to ask any questions or have anything like that, always, leave it in the comments down below. Message me on Instagram, whatever works best for you, and I will always try to answer them as transparently as possible. All right, guys, I think I've rambled on enough. Just know that whatever your emotions and feelings are towards stuff that you might be dealing with are okay, and just keep working through them. It's really easy to get overwhelmed, but you just have to take on little pieces at a time, which is where I'm at right now. I was super overwhelmed today. We had a really busy day, and I had to just chip away one task at a time versus looking at the big picture, because otherwise then I got too overwhelmed and I found myself just standing there staring instead of actually getting stuff done. So that is that. This weekend my video should be Magic Mail that I opened and filmed last week. And I'm really excited to put that up. Features a couple wonderful YouTube channels. Then going forward on Mental Health Monday, I'm actually not sure what my next topic will be. April is going to be a lot of odds and ends and kind of things that I've noted that people were interested in hearing about in the last couple months that I haven't touched on, and that kind of thing. And then going into May, I'm going to try to do a lot of really fun, different things. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, so I am going to be trying to really campaign for that and do some fun things to bring some awareness and get hopefully some more views on videos. That way people are seeing that it's okay to talk about this. I'm also in some box swaps in May and some Magic Mail stuff, exchanges. In the next week or two, I will be doing another unboxing from Aura and my dear friend Brian. I got that shipping update today, so that's very exciting. For those of you who maybe don't typically watch my unboxings on the weekends, I will try to let you know when that's going to go up. But that is all wellness related, and I really enjoy seeing what they've come up with. They're putting out some really amazing product. I have been using it regularly for the last month or two, and I'm super impressed. So those are all fun things coming up, guys. If you have made it to this point, please give this video a big thumbs up. I would love to hear any feedback down below in the comments. If there's anything coming up you would like to hear about, any questions you may have, anything like that, please comment down below. Um, and make sure, if you are not already, hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss everything coming up. It's going to be a really fun couple months, guys. I'm really excited to share some stuff with you. All right, guys, I hope you have a fantastic week and your Monday is going great. And let's just take on this week and have a great one. All right, guys, I'll see you next time. Bye.